Legend of Total Warcraft here, and today we've got another Saving or Disaster spec. How are you all doing tonight? My name is Bigbobbedboi, and welcome. The SoD hype continues. It's been out a few weeks now, we've got our time in, we've leveled, we've done BFD, we've made a bunch of mistakes and died embarrassingly on stream multiple times. We can safely say SoD is certified dope shit. I've gotten 4 classes to 25, maybe 5 by the time this video goes out. Hunter, Shaman, Rogue, and Druid. I'm having a hell of a time. I'm feeling good. Hope you're feeling good. Let me know. I'm worried about you. I've gotten at least every class to level 5, and I'm still trying to get them all to 25 before the next phase. So, with all this experience, I want to talk about 3 things. What I think ended up being the best specs, the worst specs, and the most surprising specs. 2 of each. You're probably not going to agree with all of them, and that's cool because everything is viable. I think I've done dungeons and BFD with every spec at this point, and honestly it's been fine. And I've had fun on every class that I have played. So, the best specs. Star Trek Fleet Command. Man, this is a cool looking game. Star Trek Fleet Command is a 4X MMO set in the Star Trek universe that we all know and love. This game has over 50 years worth of iconic Star Trek lore to pull from, bringing ships and characters from across the universe. What can you do with these ships and characters? You can explore a vast open world, take on PvP battles with other players the world over, collect iconic ships like the USS Enterprise, or even beloved characters like Captain Kirk. Oh yes, Shatner is in the game. And it is just as glorious as I had always dreamed. And even experience a new Star Trek storyline unique to Fleet Command. This month brings in a bunch of new content focused around TNG, that's Star Trek The Next Generation. New missions, a new mode called Wave Defense, and my favorite, 3 new officers, Luther Sloan, Riker, and my absolute favorite, Deanna. She is just as cool in the game as she was on screen in the original. Star Trek Fleet Command is completely playable on PC and mobile. And once you download the game with my link in the description or QR code, go to your player profile, settings, general, and create your Scopely account. Then you can go to StarTrekFleetCommand.com, log in, and use the promo code WARPSPEED to unlock new player content pack for free, which includes 10, that's right, 10 epic shards of Kirk. Wow. Be sure to check it out. Healing Priest. Holy shit. Priest is amazing. Giving priests penance as their first rune was a stroke of genius. And it's an amazing version of penance. Huge heals, huge damage, and extremely mana efficient. Remember this slide from BlizzCon? Priest exemplifies this more than any other class to me. Priest feels OP. Priest feels fun. Homunculi is another early rune, and it's hilarious. They pull mobs and shit. It's super annoying, yes, but they also get cool nicknames like monks, hunks, or monkeys. Even hunk monkeys, if you like. Just don't use them when you have the gnome Christmas buff up, because that shit is nightmaric. They look like some evil Santa garden gnome monstrosity. I'm sure there's a horror movie about that somewhere. Prom is amazing. I swear it feels different in SoD. Before, it would almost never bounce where I wanted it to, and it doesn't really seem to do that anymore. Generally bounces to a good target now. Void Plague is also fantastic. At low levels, mine was ticking for 20, and my Shadow Word Pain was ticking for 5. And VP costs less mana. Yeah. Penance, Void Plague, and Hunk Monkeys is an amazing starter kit of runes. And you'll have Penance and Prom by the time you are healing any dungeons. Priest looked fun pre-release, but getting Penance so early, it being so strong, and Prom being so strong, I really think is one of the best specs right now. It's one of the best levelers, arguably the best PvP healer, and same for PvE. And the other best spec, Shaman Tank. Yes, that's right, Shaman Tank. I didn't really anticipate that I would love Shaman Tank. I mainly rolled Shaman to go Elemental, but it became clear very quickly how good Tank Shaman is. Shield Mastery, Way of Earth, and Molten Blast are all super early runes, so you have your full tank kit before even RFC. Your threat is absolutely massive. With Rockbiter and Way of Earth, you can basically auto-attack and hold single target threat. Molten Blast sticks mobs to you hard on AoE, as long as you don't miss. The cone is a little bit not cone-like sometimes, and it can be easy to miss mobs with it, especially if they're moving around. Tank Shaman is also fantastic for leveling. It was pretty easy to pull 3 or 4 mobs at a time and just Molten Blast them down. With Shield Mastery, restoring mana on blocks while also buffing your armor wasn't that hard to keep mana up or health up. In dungeons, I would say Tank Shaman is probably the best tank. Very little to no downtime, massive threat, and good survivability. That's exactly what you want for a dungeon tank. And even if you can't hold AoE threat, or you're just getting smashed by a million mobs, bro, you've got Earthbind. AoE slow on a tank is severely underrated. Shaman has also been doing extremely well for tanking BFD speedruns. Shaman Tank does have a few downsides, but honestly, they are pretty minor. I have a 20% block chance on my Shaman, and sometimes it feels like a 2% block chance. Obviously, it's just numbers, you can get unlucky, but since your mana is restored on block, it can be very inconsistent. I can be fighting one mob and block non-stop, getting back all my mana, or just not block at all if I'm fighting multiple mobs. It's a minor problem, but your mana being tied to block, that can be annoying. Shaman Tank really surprised me. I knew it would be a strong tank, but I did not expect it to be this strong nor this fun. I definitely recommend checking it out. Are all Shaman specs this good? No. No, they sure as shit ain't. That was some really fun stuff, 2 amazing specs. Let's move on to the more depressing matters, the worst specs. First is Elemental Shaman. Elemental Shaman? What? It can't be. Chris, what do you think?
No, it couldn't be. It's got to be a mix-up.
Elemental Shaman can't be bad. You have Lava Burst and Overload. Yeah, this stings. It stings hard. I was super pumped for Elemental, and now I'm just sad. Sad like when you go to take a drink of your coffee, but realize it's been sitting too long, and it's not like ice cold, but it's too cold to be enjoyable, and you're just disgusted. Not only with the taste of the coffee, but with yourself for letting that happen again and wasting another cup of coffee. That's basically how I feel about Elemental. I knew going into it there was a few problems, mainly stuff like no lightning mastery at all. So your lightning bolt cast time sucks, it's really slow, and just feels awful. But there's also a few problems I didn't think about that make things even worse. Your rank of lightning bolt. So not only is lightning bolt slow as balls on a Thursday, you get a new rank at level 26. So it just doesn't hit that hard. When you have no spell power, spell ranks are especially important. Just missing out on them by 1 level really hurts the power of LB. And the other big thing is Flame Shock's duration. Flame Shock only lasts 12 seconds. The cooldown on Lava Burst is 8 seconds. So you get 1 per. That sucks. That means you can't use those shocks much, be it for damage or interrupts, because you gotta use them for Lava Burst. That is especially bad in PvP. Needs to extend the duration of Flame Shock or something. This is just not a fun time. And your last rune is going to be Shamanistic Rage. And this, honestly, I do like it. This version of SR, you just click and get mana. It also restores some party mana. You don't have to attack to get the mana return, so you can basically just pop this on cooldown to be getting tons of mana return. It's very nice. And the party mana thing was also buffed, so that is nice as well. Although there is another super frustrating thing here that I gotta mention. And it's that these runes come in way too late. And that's kind of a thing for a lot of the Shaman runes. You still have to do BFD to get Earthshield. Wait, didn't they say they wanted everyone to be able to get their runes without doing raid content? Yeah, they fucking did. This was in regards to Warlock's meta rune. Overall, we didn't intend for runes to require the raid and the rest don't. Last I checked, BFD was the raid. Alright then, but the elemental runes specifically. It just makes no sense how you acquire them. Overload is your first fucking rune. Lava Burst? Probably your last rune. You gotta kill level 27-ish mobs to get it. Shamanistic Rage requires a mob in a Charred Veil, and I think he was level 25. What the fuck were they thinking here? Unless you get higher levels to help out, you're not even going to get to level as Elemental. So why did they make our first rune Overload? I could go on here. I'm super annoyed with Elemental. So, you know what? Let's just move right on along. Oof, this hurts too. Frost Mage. Man, I love Frost Mage. What happened? Seriously, what happened? I knew Frost Mage wouldn't be topping the meters. You only get 1 point in Shatter 25. You don't have Ice Block. You don't have Winter's Chill. I know this, and I knew that going in. But still, you get 5 in Ice Shards, you get Cold Snap, and you have a full kit of very strong Frost runes. Ice Lance, Fingers of Frost, and Icy Veins, but I was not expecting this. Damn. Literally the bottom. Wow. There is no place lower. It doesn't get any worse than this. You could double, literally double Frost Mage DPS and it wouldn't even be at the top. That is unacceptable. It's okay to not be the top DPS. It's not okay. The top DPS is more than twice as much. To be honest, I really don't know how they let this go through, and still they haven't said anything about it. Frost is just not supposed to be able to do PvE DPS, I guess. Also, is Ice Lance the worst first rune of any class? I think it might be. Let me know. On the plus side, fire AoE damage is bonkers. And Healing Mage is also pretty cool. I'm definitely really enjoying Mage, but I'm not going to be doing much Frost outside of PvP. Okay, that was actually physically painful, and I'm going to need a drink to calm down. Okay, a few drinks. Honorable mentions for the most disappointing specs. Prot Paladin. Yeah, Protection Paladin is not bad. It's not in the worst specs category. It's not bad, it's just disappointing, kind of like my children. I was really hoping for Prot Paladin to be one of the best specs because it was already almost there in vanilla. It just needed a few things to really be a proper tank, and it's kind of there now, but it's not that great. It's fine. Avenger's Shield is kind of cool, and I like that you can Divine Storm as a tank, but it seems like Paladin tank has a lot of downtime too. Way more than any other tank I've seen in dungeons. I am going to play this some more soon. Paladin probably going to be my next 25, but for right now, I am a little disappointed. And Balanced Druid. Why are they doing me like this? I was so pumped for Balanced Druid. Once I saw the buffs to Star Surge, I immediately prioritized Druid and started leveling it hard. I think when I got Star Surge at like level 8, I died a lot. And you know what? Star Surge is good. I like it. But the spec has just not come together. It is a fantastic leveler. Possibly the best. You use almost no mana to kill mobs, because Star Surge is so efficient as like 3 or 4 mana at 25. Wrath costs no mana with your chest rune, and it procs the instant healing touches, and you'll have the mana that you can use those. So there's literally zero downtime going through mobs, and Sunfire it's fine. It's just fine. So why is Balance disappointing then? Well, the PvE DPS is not that high. It's definitely improved, and it's not Frost Mage level, but it's not super high, so that's a little lame, but really it's because Wrath does no damage. You would probably do more damage throwing pool noodles. You do get a new rank at level 22, so it's not like LB where it's a rank issue. You get the cast time reduction talent really early, so it's not that either. It's just not a damaging spell, and that leads into a not so fun rotation. Sunfire is fine, Moonfire is not great. Your rotation is basically Star Surge, and then you're waiting to Star Surge again. There is filler you can use, but Star Surge is the only fun button to press. And you literally never Starfire. I mean, never. I checked some logs to make sure I wasn't crazy or just fucking that up somehow, but no, I was right. There is no point to use Starfire. I like Star Surge, but everything else here just doesn't feel that fun or even like Balanced Druid. But that kind of leads into the most surprising specs. Feral Druid. I never really liked Feral. It was always okay to me, but not something I ever looked forward to playing. I love healing on a Druid, but having the level as Feral was always kind of an annoyance. That is not the case now. Feral is awesome in SoD. We knew pre-release that it was looking good. Having the only Wind Fury buff was going to be huge and make Feral really sought after. But I did not anticipate it would be this fun. This has heavily changed my mind on Feral. But also, its damage is really good. If we look at WoW Log statistics for BFD, it's 5th overall, although the way WoW Logs records Melee Hunter, it doesn't really count to me, so I'd say Feral is 4th damage overall. That's pretty fucking good, when you're already bringing the best buff in the level bracket. And the rune acquisition is pretty logical here. You can get Mangle, Wild Strikes, and Savage Roar pretty early, around level 13, level 14. Unfortunately, you don't learn Cat Form until level 20, that's the only real downside here. I mainly play heals on Druid, but Feral has been such a pleasant surprise that I'm actually playing it quite often now. And the last surprising spec, alright, it's not a spec, it's a class. Hunter, it could only be you. If you know me at all, you know I was obviously going to play Hunter and I was going to enjoy Hunter. I love Classic Hunter. It's probably my third favorite iteration of Hunter. A lot of classes have received better changes in SOD than Hunter, but I still find it the most enjoyable. What's surprising about Hunter is just how absolutely lost Blizzard seems to be when it comes to Hunter. And there's lots of things you can point to prove that, like the explosive shot change. If it was somehow doing way too much damage and you needed to rein that in, fine, no one cares. But why change my single target damage rune that's fantastic for leveling into an AoE rune? And why does it still put Arcane Shot on cooldown? Why do they want us to play BM? Exactly the same as Classic. It's literally the same as Classic, except now my pet does a lot of damage. To an absolutely shocking degree, it is the same. Like, I'm not exaggerating, it's the same as before. We're even stuck using the same pets as before. No one cares if they wanted to nerf Scorpid. No one wanted to use a Scorpid in the first place. But after all these nerfs to pets and kill command, we are right back where we started, with 99% of people using cats for DPS. At least give Raptors dash so we can use them next bracket. That's an easy fix, just do it. And that's only a small part of the weird shit they've done with hunters. There's the Chimera shot nerf, there's whatever the fuck they're trying to do with melee hunters, there's runes like sniper training just being completely broken and worthless. And what makes this actually frustrating is a lot of this was identified before release, especially Kill Command, which is a leg rune. As soon as I saw what they were doing with Kill Command, I said, don't do that. Give us the TBC version of Kill Command. But they didn't listen. Hunter is equal parts awesome, disappointing, surprising, and frustrating. Hey, at least we got good DPS, right? Ooh, that was a video. That went some places. Some weird, some cool, some erotic, but hopefully some fun. I had done a lot of Hunter-specific content lately, so it was nice to branch out again a little bit. I do have another Hunter guide coming up next, but after that I might work on updating the PvP tier list. I've been doing a lot of PvP. Let me know what you'd like to see. And hit that subscribe button, like button, I'm not Australian button, all that other shit. I appreciate each and every one I get. And we even have a membership option. Click that join button and check it out if you want to support the channel. YouTube has recently changed the way memberships work, and now all my members get to watch videos early. Yeah, every single video. It's pretty nice. But that is going to be all for this one. I really appreciate you all watching, and I will see you all for the next one. And I'll see you next time, fuckers. A prayer whispered, a prayer answered. Ah, Hunter Jesus, you were by my side all along.